Welcome back to Maniacal Music Musings, everybody. I'm your host, as always, Jeremy. Some call me an antichrist, some call me an architect of creation. It goes both ways in this life. I'm just shooting evil motherfuckers with habits on my way to my casket while singing songs upon wine-stained tongue. Run all that through your head for a minute. Just run all that through your head for a minute, all right? All right, now you're good. My co-host, though, she knows the old hurt of being left behind, especially by Cry and Luca. She is all fucked up looking at ink blots while she's off the hinges being the enforcer of Denver City. She stares at a portrait of us when we were life sick modeling for a love souvenir in Almost Town, which, for those who don't know, Almost Town is called Denver. But Jaimie, motherfucking Fuller, everybody.
Hello. I am glad we got back on track. We got music to cover, and we've got lots of decisions that we had changed and tried to do and all that stuff, and ideas shot down, Mr. CJ.
Sorry.
It's okay. I did it to
I'm
be a
definitely
butthole.
happier with this one, but at least
I did it
know
to be a
something about
butthole.
it.
I won't lie. In honor of the Super Bowl, that's the only reason why I was going to torture myself with that album too.
Trust me, I double stamped that and vetoed that idea as well, Jaimie. So yeah.
It's okay. But I'm here to bring the fun, of course. I'm excited for this week.
Yes, this actually turned to an episode I am very happy to do for many different reasons. We'll get to all that in a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, as Jaimie already said, we are being joined for the I don't even know how many times, but the amazing, and he lived up to his name this time, fifth or sixth time at this point, but I really don't know.
Fourth time.
I
We did Carcass, we did Cell Dweller, we did this one, and
Crossfaith.
Oh yeah, we did the Psychofuncopus one.
Yep, and I mean, this is like your fifth or sixth time.
Crossfaith. We did Crossfaith. Yep.
But I mean, ladies and gentlemen, he lived up to his name this time. The music god himself, CJ motherfucking Plane.
Ayo. Glad to be back. Still alive, even though pneumonia's trying to kill me.
So is your microphone plugged in or something? You sound far away.
He doesn't to me, but
I was gonna say I better not sound far away. I got a $300 microphone I'm using.
I think you sound a little better now.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he just wasn't projecting his voice enough, Jaimie. But
let me set it up here and maybe if I'm closer to it.
But folks, the great thing about CJ coming back on as always is we don't have to go through the whole get to meet this person thing because everybody already knows him. So we can just move straight ahead into some music, and I am so happy the guest goes first in this damn show. CJ, what album did you want to bring us, and please tell us why?
This particular record is a band from Los Angeles called Seven Spires. They are the band of my good friend Adriana Cohen, and also Jack Costas, and I don't remember the drummer's name, but he's not the drummer anymore. Actually, he's a drummer for Testament now. He joined Testament. But Adriana also is one of the backup live singers for Avantasia. She is also the lead vocalist for Sasha Pace's Master of Ceremony. So I thought it was a cool tie-in because I know you dig Avantasia and all of that. So, figured it'd be something you'd enjoy. It's a little different, but still kind of up your alley.
Well, I'm pretty sure most people on the show know how I'm going to react to this one. So I'm going to let Jaimie go first just because I'm kind of curious to see how she reacts to this.
I mean, if we're just giving our overall rating first, correct? Because my thing right now, is I do the out of 5 stars, and I'm gonna, sorry, but give it a 2. It's just not my thing. I would start to get into a song, and then it would lose me somewhere, or it would start off wrong or weird, and then it would kind of be okay. So it just didn't flow for me. So I gave it a 2, but we'll go over my other opinions later.
And okay, see, I'm kind of that's why I'm gonna be let Jaimie go first because I'll take that rainy parade and bring it back up to Sunnyville here because that I literally only had to get like 2 tracks into this album and it was pure music musicasm for like the next hour. What the fuck? Well, my throat.
She's
It was
got
like her voice, her voice, her voice. Her voice won. The guitar, the bass, and the drums are all freaking incredible. And I happened to look up this band, and I'm like, who the hell is this band? And how did I miss them when they already have 4 albums out? And I'm like, and they formed in Boston, Massachusetts? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, they're actually off from LA, but they were attending Berkeley Institute of Music. So they were actually formed at Berkeley, but all the members were actually from LA. So
which I know where Berkeley is in Boston. So freak yeah. I was like amazed that this band managed to slip underneath my radar for so freaking long. They are an incredible band.
You don't know who Adriana is because she's literally been one of the live singers with
I never Advantasia doesn't come to freaking America to do live shows ever, so I haven't seen them, and I don't really sit there and watch their lives usually. I don't have a chance, but I mean I never seen her name on a song until this album coming out.
She's never been in an actual Advantasia record up before this one coming up.
Yeah.
What she's basically, her role is in the live performances, she performs all of the parts that were originally done by like Sharon Denetto. She performed the parts of
female.
Whatever her name is from Battle Beast. So all the female vocalists that have recorded on the records, she basically sings those parts live.
Oh, Tobias, you still need to release an album of like just a compilation of her doing the songs live. Like I would so pay for that.
On there, but she's on two of the songs on the new Advantasia record. She did 2 duets with.
I saw one. I didn't see 2, but I might not look for enough on the album.
Maybe there's only one. I thought there was 2.
But I mean, I for one would love to have her on the show, and for 2, this band blew me the freak away. I put all the 3 other albums on my to listen on Spotify because I'm like I gotta hear all their other albums now.
Like, this is even better than this one.
I'm like this is
fucking crazy.
I mean, I even watched one of the videos today for this album, and I freaking was like, "Oh my god!" Even their videos are done amazingly. I'm like, this band is fucking incredible. I'm like, I think I have a new top 10 band.
I mean, I'm not going to totally dog on it by any means because, like I said, these songs, like, they either started great and then really got me going and then threw me off or threw me in a different direction, which isn't a bad thing, or it didn't start off right. And then there's this really good hook, and I'm like, what in the... Because there's a lot of great talent in there, don't get me wrong. But I have to say one thing throughout this whole freaking deal that I was just like, can we get some more bass drum? Can we please? Cheese and freaking rice. I think that they figured out that instrument, and that sound is amazing because they used the piss out of it. But I mean, I ranked it differently. I'll put it that way. My 2 is just because of all the songs. I want more variation, I guess, than what I was hearing. A lot of it became the same to me, but like I liked looking into the lyrics and digging into the song more. So my ranking is still like of digging into, not like just some surface thing. But I'm just like, I had a hard time getting behind it at first, I guess. I really did.
So there's a lot more growly vocals on this one than there is.
And I like that. I do like that. It's just there's something about like the too much bass drum, calm the F down, guys. And like it had the same sound throughout all the songs that like when I got into the lyrics or when the lyrics threw me for a loop, which could be a good thing still. I'm just like, it just threw me off. So it was an album that kind of kept you on your toes in a way, I guess you could say.
I think on this one a lot. Um, People that don't know Adriana wouldn't know, but she also plays keyboards in a band called Winds of Plague, which is a black metal band.
I mean, I kind of felt like that person had more to do than just what I was hearing. So
yeah,
I could tell there's more talent.
Adriana wrote this record right after the Winds of Plague record, and I think that sort of there was a lot of blast beats, there was a lot of black metal and death metal elements in this one that aren't on the other records. The other records
I maybe
are much
need to
more,
listen to some other ones, but I really quite have to be honest with you, CJ. I really wanted to rank the Chris Webby album. And I really wasn't even excited about that one at first either. So now we have to do an episode with that one later because I have some. I like
that.
A lot
That's
of
a
the
really
songs.
fun record too.
That really freaking was.
That was Webby is one of them guys who's very polarizing. You know, Webby is.
And that would have brought like one of our bastards, Q. You know, Jaimie, our homie. He definitely.
Me and Chancey actually made a pact forbidding Webby from the show after Q brought him on.
Well, I mean, it's on, so I like it. I liked that album, so I was kind of sad we didn't get to talk about that one.
I mean,
I figured Jimmy would dig the.
I mean, I will say straight off, I reacted to Webby being on the show a lot better than Chancey did. Chancey hated on him hard. Chancey hated on him very hard. I actually dug him for some degree, better than another rap artist that's going to be on today's show, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, 7 Spires, 6 fucking stars out of 5. Like they were, like this whole album is like Avantasia. The whole album's a story, and you get the story when you finish the fucking album, and it all went together so beautifully and perfectly. I have my notes for the fucking song, so I'll shut the hell up now. What were your top 5 songs, CJ? I'm dying to know.
She does a lot of stuff on this. She does the orchestration. She does the violin. She composes everything. She sings, plays keyboards. She also does other video work. So she's really a whirlwind of, you know, but definitely not for everybody. 5 songs for me. My first one is Love Souvenir. It has such a Cradle of Filth vibe to it.
Yes.
And the fact that she's best friends with Zoe, the keyboard player for Cradle of Filth, it almost felt like she wrote that song sort of for Zoe. Architect of Creation is a favorite. Where Sorrows Bear My Name. I just love the title of that. I mean, it's such a metal sounding title. You know,
the title of that made me think of death.
Yeah, kind of. The Old Hurt of Being Left Behind. I really like that one because it has that sort of stringy violin parts to it.
Yeah, definitely.
She'll make jokes about she's a terrible violin player, but you can listen to her play violin on that and tell that she's not a terrible player at all. Like she's really talented. And she's so tiny. She's like 5 foot.
Oh,
she's like 5'3" and 100 pounds.
If you watch the videos, you could tell there's nothing to her. I mean, a strong wind will blow her away.
You know, it's such a massive voice for such a tiny little thing. You know, and it's like, how does that come from? Man, she must have like hatred in her toes, because, you know. But she's really a sweetheart. So those are my main songs off of this one.
Jaimie, what were your top 5?
Okay. So how I did it instead, because I didn't really, I guess I'm more of a 2.5 star out of 5 than anything, because I'm more split. There's about 4.5 songs I give a yes to that I could stand to listen to again. So that for me would be A Fortress Called Home. That was a good welcome to the album that got me going. Songs Upon White Stained Tongues, that was another good one. Impossible Tower was another one, and my And Emerald Necklace, there's something about that one I do remember liking, but Where Sorrows Bear My Name is where it went from a yes to a no. So then I have like the that's where the 5.5 comes in, like 4.5 to 5.5. So I had 5.5 no's and a couple S's on the album. So overall, I feel like it got me interested in the others. Out of my yeses, I'd have to say probably the very first song, A Fortress Called Home, is probably the only thing I'm going to say is ranked number one for me. The other ones kind of fall after that because it's a mixed feeling on some.
For shame. For fucking shame. But
No, it's.
I mean,
I kind of knew, like, she's again. It's a style of music that is.
I
not
like
lots of
that
metal
style.
rock.
It's just, yeah, it's something that depending upon how it's delivered to me, it takes a minute for me to get behind
Yeah.
it. So
I get it.
it would not take me a second to get behind her. But
I
okay.
know I was waiting for that. I set that one up right there for you to rear end it. Just rear end that fucking joke right there.
Oh, and I did well. But
You did very well, sir. Bravo.
I know.
I actually held back a few minutes because I wanted to throw that. I had a chance a few minutes ago and I was like, no, I'm gonna let it simmer and then I'll jump back into it. But all right, I could have honestly listened to this whole fucking CD and ranked it, but I was trying to be a little more picky than that. So I only had one honorable mention, and that was "Songs Upon Wine-Stained Tongues" because that title reminded me of Cradle of Filth. So
Yeah.
and I mean, that sounds like a Cradle of Filth
That's
album.
the one that has Capriccio in it. He is in the Italian band.
I know that name. I know that name or something.
It's a famous, not Luca Torelli's Rhapsody, but one of the. They tour with Rhapsody a lot. So he's a famous Italian metal singer.
Dragon Force?
No, Twilight Zone.
Oh, Twilight Zone.
So,
wow,
he's
yeah,
actually the only person who's ever appeared on a Seven Spire record other than her. So,
but my number 5 was "Old Heart of Being Left Behind" because that song was beautiful, and I know that feeling. So it was definitely a memory song. I think 10 years ago I would have fucking been in love with that song. But my number 4 was "Architect Creation" because that song was beautifully orchestrated all the way through. I love that song. I love all these songs. I keep saying that, but my number 3 was "Almost Town" because of her fucking voice and that scream. That scream when the guitar solo ends is like you don't see it coming, and it's just gorgeous.
We were listening to it on the way home from Walmart, and not my oldest son, but my second oldest son, he looks over at me and he goes, "Holy shit, that's a hell of a power metal scream." And I was like, "Dude, that's Adriana." And he's like, "The Berkeley chick?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Is she singing that?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I thought that was like 3 different singers on there." And he's like, "No, that's all her."
You can't tell. Actually, that's funny you say that because when I first started listening to this album today, before I looked at a video of it, I thought the guy and the girl both sang. I didn't realize it was all her.
It's all her, bro.
I thought it was I thought it was exactly like a Cradle of Filth thing where like he does all the screamo parts and she does like the melodies. But then when I watched the video, I'm like, oh my god, that scream is her. But and I think that's the video that's the video I watched is Almost Town. That's when I realized it. But and my number 2 was Portrait of Us. That song was so fucking beautiful and haunting in a way. But my number 1 was 100% Love's Souvenir. Because the way it starts out is like a jazzy song, kind of like The Owl, the Crow, and the Dove by Nightwish.
Mm-hmm.
And then like halfway through it jumps into that like drum solo, becomes like full metal. It's just like, ooh, I'm like, be still my throbbing ears. I love it. And I had this I had the Spotify all the way up volume wise listening to this at work today. I was like, this is fucking gorgeous. Like, I'm like, I didn't make any phone calls today, but that's okay. It's my skip day for the week for phone calls because I don't give a shit because I'm enjoying the shit out of this album, and I had to listen to a crappier album before that, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I thank you, man. You just gave me a new band to dig into, and there are so many bands in their fans also like section on Spotify that I never heard of that I have so many months ahead of me of going down these bands
So the earlier
discographies.
records are going to be more in the Within Temptation Nightwish vein.
I just
The
brought I
more
just brought
positive
I just brought Within Temptation on the show like an episode or two ago. So yeah,
I'm just
I'm
saying,
down.
like the earlier runs, Gods of Debauchery and the first one are going to be more like that. This is really the first record where she went just full tilt into the like
Yeah.
super heavy vocals.
I honestly, I don't know. I'll have to listen because I honestly might like the older earlier stuff a little better. I might.
You'll
I should.
love them all. Like there's not a bad record she does, but I think the fact she recorded Winds of Plague so close to this one, that sort of bled over the heaviness. Because Winds of Plague is Chansey would love Winds of Plague. Okay, like Chansey would fucking go nuts for Winds of Plague. They are just they're like Cradle of Filth on fucking steroids. Okay, they're like Cradle of Filth at like twice the speed.
Oh God, Chancey
Fucking
being heaven.
Cradle of Filth with
Yeah.
fucking just supersonic blast beats. But she's only the keyboard player in that band. She doesn't. But it's still very similar to like what on Architect of Creation. It's very similar to that with the blast beats and the really heavy vocals and whatnot. So,
I mean, thankfully, I think listening to Cradle of Filth for all these years is the only reason I was able to pick up on her vocals so fast. Like usually bands like that, it takes me a little while to get their vocals like used to my ears where I can actually tell what they're saying right away. But her, it happened pretty fast with her. So
yeah, the fact that she's best friends with Zoe too, I think sort of bleeds in a little bit too, because her and Zoe write a lot of stuff together. So I'm sure Zoe's influenced from Cradle of Filth.
a bit. So I mean, I was just trying to see if they're touring America anytime soon, and they're not. I mean, they're in Europe basically for the next year.
Yeah, she's got a tour where they're opening for somebody, but she's also doing the Avantasia and Master of Ceremony stuff.
I mean, I saw one festival they're headlining in Spain with Powerwolf, and I was like, I want to go to Spain so bad. That's my fucking awesomeness. But
they're doing
Jaimie
open air and all of that.
I saw every band that's good does Walk-In. Walk-In's that's my bucket list to go to Walk-In. Wacken, whatever. That's my bucket list to go to Wacken.
They will correct you if you go there and say it wrong.
Well, I'm just gonna go there and be like, good to be here at Whacking Open Air. But Jaimie, what album did you bring us in? For God's sake, why?
For God's sake, why? Because it's a freaking. Are you kidding me? It's an amazing album. It's the Death of Shady.
I'll get into it.
Now, see, if only that was true.
Oh, it's a great album. I have great feelings towards the album. I enjoyed the album. There's some great connections that my cousin and I get with certain music and certain albums, and this actually is one of them. So even if it's not everybody's cup of tea, that's totally fine. My thing is I really enjoyed it. So the Death of Slim Shady, that's one of the first albums that I got excited to as soon as it came out to like listen to it while I was working. And I haven't done that in a while. Besides with what we do every week and everything like that. That was one that was, I don't know. And I found a lot of songs that I really liked. So sorry you didn't like it, Jaimie. Not.
Oh, well, CJ is the guest. I'll let him give his piece on it before I give it my huge piece. Giggity.
Oh yeah, you wish it was a huge piece. Whatever, Jaimie.
I ain't gonna wish shit, sweetie. But
I am gonna talk shit, but I'm also gonna be fair in saying this. I'm not an Eminem fan. I'm from Detroit. I don't connect to his music on any level. Like to me, he just rhymes words for the sake of rhyming words.
And I feel like there's times that like I get it. You're either gonna like him or you're not, and I don't blame people for not.
So here's the thing with M. I don't hate M as an artist. Mm-hmm. I don't connect to his music. Now, here's the funny thing. When he's with Royce, every song it's like Royce brings something out of M.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of Royce the 5'9".
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
On Caterpillar, they're back
Okay.
and forth on Caterpillar. It is, if M was like that all of the time, I would be just the biggest stan.
Okay, that I can get. That I can get behind.
I don't connect to his stuff. So to me, M is. I always make the comment, M's the greatest rapper on earth. M's not even the greatest rapper in Detroit. Okay, like Aztec the Barfly, Bang Belushi, Fat Father. There's at least a dozen rappers I can name in Detroit that would just eat him alive in a rap battle. I'm not saying that disrespectfully. Look,
yeah,
Emma's done amazing things.
And yeah, he's better than me. That's all that I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like Taylor Swift, but I also will tell you, I'm not doing $1 billion concerts. So who the fuck am I to say that Taylor Swift sucks? I just simply say, look, it's not my thing. I don't listen to it. Let's move on to something different. So on this record, this is not the worst Eminem record I've heard.
Right.
It's not
the
best one.
It's not the best, but I enjoyed it.
There are some moments on this record that are not terrible.
Yeah, and it kind of brings you back a little bit, does it not? At least bring you back a little bit to when he first came around, to his first album.
A
little bit, at least.
He gets mad respect from me because I have been personal friends with Jelly Roll since 2004. I knew Jelly long before Jelly ever blew up. I've been telling people since 2005 on my radio shows, when I started this whole journey, Jelly was going to blow up. It was never a question of when for me. Now, I didn't think it was going to be as a country star. I thought it would be as a rapper, but I always knew that Jason, his personality, it's too damn big. It's too damn real for you not to love the dude, okay? What you see in the videos, that's just who he is. There's no fake facade about Jason DeFord, okay? Whether you want to call him Jason DeFord or Jelly Roll or whatever, he is exactly what you see in the videos. He is just a big ball of dumb energy. He's like a big Malamute, you know? He's like a big slobbering dog that he's going to be fucking loyal as hell to you, but he will rip your fucking face off if you fuck with his family or friends. I promoted a show in 2005 with him, Haystack, Big Smo, and it was Haystack, Jelly, Big Smo, and their producer, David Ray, their producer. Awesome show. Every one of them were amazing. They were still doing the crazy white boy CWB thing. Before Smo had the TV show blew up, and he doing country rap, any of that. So the fact that he took the Jelly Roll song and sort of did his own version of it and brought Jelly into it, that was awesome to me, because M is one of Jelly's favorite rappers and one of his idols. So it's massive validation.
Yeah.
Go from being a federal prisoner to your dream coming true, and then having your dream validated by your favorite rapper to say, hey, not only do I think you're an amazing artist, I'm going to use one of your songs.
Yeah. And he did it with the way how he ended, I think from what I'm gathering, how he ended his Slim Shady days, or so to be continued. So you don't know. It's not definitive, but still.
Yeah. So a lot of respect for that. And like I said, there are some moments on this record that harken back to the first, not the very first record, because the first record was Infinite is absolutely fucking terrible. I ran a record store when that came out. We couldn't give that fucking thing away. It's just literally just shelf space was taken up by this record that I would have love to have had anything else there because it just didn't sell. You couldn't give the damn thing away. But obviously he met Dre. Hey, it is what it is. Took off from there. That the first one or two records, you know, they were goofy. They were different. And you know, so it made him sort of an anomaly, but then he kind of got off kilter with the drugs and everything else, and it started sounding like he was rhyming a Dick and Jane book, and just kind of lost the plot. And you know, so overall, I'd probably give this one 4.5 out of 10. That's high praise for me, considering the majority of M shit gets about a 2. So, but still not anything that I would, you know, you're never going to hear me say, hey, let's listen to an M record. No.
Right.
Listen to Webby, Vinny
Right.
Paz.
I mean, I get that. I gave it a 5 out of 5 for me, but that's just because it got me and my cousin going, and it gave us a connection in another way. And just some of the songs were really catchy and kind of brought you back a little bit. So
you got to remember, this is coming from somebody whose 2 favorite rappers are KSR1 and Chino XL. So
okay, well, yeah,
I'm, you know, I'm all about the cerebral lyricism, man. Like I like just crazy out there fucking shit. So I'm kind of, I don't know, like I don't connect to him as much, but
right.
every once in a while he'll do something that, you know, like normally it's the songs with Royce that really make me say, oh wow, you know, Royce really brought that out in him. And it's not unusual. There's a few other people that, you know, Chris Calico can be so he gets with Tech. Tech really brings that part of Chris out that
I really like Chris. Yeah.
I love Chris, but there's some things he does that just are kind of like, you know, but then he does those songs with Tech, man, and it's like, damn, you know, Tech brings that beast out in him, and
right,
you know, so yeah, so again, not the worst record I've heard this week.
I don't blame you. Jeremy, what's your thoughts on it? Hi, baby. Hi, little thing. Aw. You're so adorable. Oh, hi, thing.
What's that ugly thing?
Yeah. Sorry, someone decided to wake up. But
no, you're fine.
It's okay.
Now see, you could have brought Encore. You could have brought so many albums that Eminem I actually couldn't hate. But I mean, when he was doing drugs, because that's when he was good. But since he got clean, I cannot stand Eminem. And as a juggalo, I don't like Eminem to begin with. So it is this album. I went into it immediately wanting to hate it, and that held up for the most part. I will say there were a few redeeming tracks in this, but it's just not good. He lost it. I haven't listened to an album he did since freaking Relapse, and he has fucking lost his ability to be who he used to be. I mean, dude, what's your hang up with Christopher Reeves? Like, Jesus Christ, the guy's been there for like 20 years. It's not fun. It's not even funny or entertaining anymore. It's just ridiculous.
That's what a lot of this album goes over. He does touch base on those things, but I feel like this touched base back with how he first was. Like, he really, I don't know, he really, not just lyrically, but beats wise. I feel like he did go back. Like it's the death of Slim Shady. It's got a similar style, I feel, and I chose it because it's 2024 and I wanted to go backwards. I didn't want to start.
I will say this: the beats on this are far superior than what Dre did on that fucking record with Snoop. That record with Snoop. Snoop is so on point lyrically, and the fucking music and the beats are just terrible. I was like, who the fuck listened to this and thought this was good? Like, you couldn't possibly listen to that and think that those were good beats. Like, those are not the best somebody's like, "Oh, Drake's trying to be lo-fi like Kanye or some shit," and I'm like, "No, Drake just completely lost the fucking plot on that one." Okay, Snoop sounds so good. Snoop sounds better than he sounded in 25 years lyrically, and the beats are just all over the fucking place, man. They're just fucking terrible. I couldn't listen to it. Like I just couldn't. It was so bad for me that I was really disappointed in that Snoop record. It just was so terrible. Um, and when I did my year-end list, everybody, "Oh, how come Snoop's not on there?" It was fucking terrible. Like it just, like I didn't put M on there either, but M will go on that list long before that Snoop record would. Like that record was fucking terrible.
I guess which Snoop album are you talking about?
The newest one. Man, what the fuck is the new Snoop record called? The Re-Up? No.
Let's take a looky poo.
Missionary, yeah.
I haven't even. I'll add it just so I listen to it later.
No, it has this. It has this weird Tyler the Creator, Kanye style of production to it. It's
oh boy,
very like lo-fi and all over the place and weird beats that just don't like if it was a Tyler the Creator or a Kanye record,
right?
I would be like, okay, yeah, that's totally what it is.
Yeah.
But for Snoop, it just does not go with his style. Like even the song he has Jelly on, which is this remix of Last Dance with Mary Jane, he just butchers it. And I'm like, it's so bad. Like it's horrid.
Didn't mean to hit play there. Stop. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about this album that I was interested to listen to from beginning to end.
Right.
Which is how I try to listen to most of my albums, but back to when I used to put the CD in the CD player, not just like I'm going on Spotify or Apple and downloading the songs and playing it that way. Like I just remember the excitement of going to get the album. So this album, if anything, reminded me of, man, I almost kind of wish I had to go to the store to go pick this up, go to my local Hot Topic and go pick up my album that I want to get and listen to it. Or Sam Goody.
No, see, I did that with Relapse. That was one of the last few CDs I actually bought physical copies of because I was like, oh, Eminem's back. Let me go buy this album. And Relapse was not half bad. But this album, God, if I ever bought it, I'd be fucking going back to FYE to return it. Like it was garbage.
Relapse was a record that I fucking hated. I would have took Relapse back if I would have bought it and been like, yeah, got anything different? I'll take Taylor Swift over this. Okay, like this. Relapse is terrible, bro.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh man, too much.
Jaimie, what are your top 5 for this?
Okay. Well, while Jeremy's taking care of Little Fang there, my top 5, I have number 5 is The Antichrist. And that is a very easy song to get stuck in your dang head. So I don't know. I enjoyed that song. Road Rage, definitely. When I looked at the lyrics of that and was just really digging into it, it did make me giggle pretty hard. Number 3, Brand New Dance. Just it's something I could see me and my friends being complete asses to, and just being weird too. Habits, that's my number 2. And then my number 1 is The Bad One. But I know there's mixed reviews on the album for a lot of people and for a lot of the music reviewers out there. But for me, have to say all of the other songs are my honorable mention. So I just like those 5. I mean, maybe Habits might be my number 1, but I go between that and The Bad One. What about you, CJ? What are you thinking on your top 5?
So I don't really have a top 5 per se. I'll say this about 3 particular songs in particular. First one is going to be the Jelly Roll one. It
Right.
just automatically, I love that one. My number 2 is Head Honcho. I absolutely not am so much, but I am obsessed with Easy Mill.
Mm-hmm.
I love all things Filipino, and Easy Mill is one of those kids, man. He's new, and this kid is just 1 minute he's rapping, 1 minute he's doing a fucking love song ballad. Then he'll turn around and he has a song that sounds like fucking corn, and he'll rap in fucking Visayan, and then he'll rap in English, and his shit, he sounds so fierce. Like he's just got that grit and growl in his voice. I love Easy Mill, dude. Like there's just something about that kid. Now I hate how M has fucking produced him because
Yeah.
M has watered him down so
Well, I was gonna
bad.
say. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say that's a good song too. That should have been definitely something I had as like maybe
I
my number 5, number
I
6.
get 100% why M wanted him on the label because Easy is by far one of the only new quote unquote young kids that I would bother with. Like if I owned a label, there's maybe 4 rappers that I've heard that are younger than 30 that I would
Yeah.
bother to sign, and Easy would be number 1 at the top of
Yeah.
that list.
I mean, I like the song Toby too, and I didn't really talk about that or Temporary. My cousin will give me a whole line of hell for that, but
Temporary is good. I like Skylar Gray.
yeah.
And this is like the 4th or 5th song she's done with them. So
Yeah.
There's just too
They-
many
they
songs
have a
for me to
connection.
try to mention from this album. I guess that's why I liked it as much as I did, is that normally I only pick and choose like 2, maybe 3 songs off an album that I really like, but this one I actually liked a big handful. So
Oh,
Yeah, and then the other one was Fuel. I really like West Side Boogie and
yeah.
those guys.
Yeah,
know,
that was a good song. I do
yeah,
have to say that is a good song. That
the
is.
West Side guys, man. There's something about their style.
Yeah.
They've almost got that early Wu-Tang swagger to
Yeah,
their
and I
style.
think I was debating on them pretty hard for my number 4 song or something. I couldn't decide though. God, yeah.
But those are
That's
the
some
main
good
songs
shit.
that connected with me. That
Yeah.
the majority of it was just, it was sort of background noise, truthfully. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I can agree with that actually a lot. But I did have 2 honorable mentions because, well, one of them's just for one reason and not for Eminem at all. But my first honorable mention is Antichrist, just solely for Bizarre coming in at the end.
Yeah.
Because Bizarre is fucking a legend, and I will listen to anything he does. My number, yeah, he's not listed on there as one of the, like, he doesn't get credit for it. But at the end of Antichrist, at the end of Antichrist,
I fucking detest him. Fat slob cocksucker.
he's a personality, all right. But I love him and King Gordy. Him and King Gordy doing things together is always amazing.
That's the thing. I fucking love King Gordy. I can't stand Bizarre, and Bizarre ruins those records with fucking King Gordy. It's like this fucking battle of the volume knob on the Lars records, where it's like, okay, Gordy's rapping, turn it up. Bizarre's on, turn it down.
No, I love Bizarre whenever he's on like Twisted songs too and shit. Like I always love Bizarre, but I mean,
I don't know if
my other honorable mention. Where the fuck she go? But my other honorable mention was Habits, because I actually agree with M on a lot of the fucking things he talks about in that song. So it's right. A lot of the things going on in the world today he talks about in that song is actually great. That's the Eminem I remember, is that one song of him talking about like hot topics in the news and shit. But my number 5 was Temporary because, yeah, Skylar Grey is amazing. Whenever she's done shit with Mad Child too, I'm pretty sure in the past, and she's always freaking amazing. My number 4 was Kyrie and Luca. Not because of Eminem, because of the people around beside him. I love that fucking line. I'll fuck my girl during the day on a nightstand. Like that shit had me dying laughing. And that wasn't him. That was one of the other people on the album. But that line is I love shit like that. So that's perfect. And my number three was Toby. The flows in Toby were incredible. I'll even give M credit for like his verses in that one. But my number two was Evil because that was closer to the Eminem I knew as a kid. That was a little bit closer, and I'm thinking that was actually a reference to his Bad Meets Evil he did with Royce the 5'9". So
I think it is actually.
yeah, I think it is a reference. But my number one, and I didn't even realize it was like the tracks in this album went like from one to the next without me realizing they changed sometimes because the flow, whatever. So I didn't realize it was this song until because this is the song I was actually dying to hear because of the title. So I'm like, all right, I'll go back and listen to it again. And this song actually impressed the shit out of me, even though it wasn't as good as the original. And that was Guilty Conscious too. I mean, yeah, it's not as good as him and Dre going back and forth, of course, but hit Marshall and Slim Shady going back in a song, I could do that. I could do that to some degree. I mean, too bad this wasn't the death of Marshall Mathers, but whatever.
Yeah, it made me
It is
feel
what it is.
like it was really tapping into how I sound with myself at times. And yeah, it's not as good as the original, I'll give it that, but I was very excited when I saw that on the list of songs before. I always like to look at the song titles and then get
Yeah.
into the album just for the hay of it. And then
And
I
I
always
will
get
say this.
surprised.
I will say this, and I know M hates this. So if M ever hears this, he's probably going to read it as the email. In the whole M versus Slim Shady sort of style, I know NF was highly influenced by him and all that, but Nate has totally surpassed M in the whole, mind battle of the emotion thing. Like if you listen to NF, he just took what M started and just has completely turned it into this sort of Spielberg cinematic fucking craziness of also the fact, NF is a Christian rapper. So he does what M does without a single swear word. And it's this battle of all of these emotions. And then if you watch his videos, he plays this sort of character that he always has black balloons, and the balloons symbolize a certain thing in each video. And every video is connected to the next video. So he's taken this M thing and just completely taken off with it. And M hates the comparisons. He's like, he's made some of the nastiest comments, and Nate is just like, don't care. Like, you're not gonna bait me into getting into a battle with him. Or he's like, look, I do me. I'm a Christian rapper. I don't swear. I don't talk about drugs. None of that. And the fact that M gets so riled up about it,
That is
and
funny.
Nate just refuses to engage him in any way.
Well, that's the best thing to do, is to ignore it or kill it with kindness. Gosh,
Yeah,
M should know that.
But Nate is. If you like M, you'll like NF. I know Jeremy didn't really care
Oh, you brought NF on too. That's another one you brought on. So yeah.
That was sort of a bad choice for NF because he was really more sing-songy in that one than he was rapping per se. But Nate can go.
Well,
Nate can go.
I guess it's that time, folks, to go into the last album of the night. And I was saving the best for last for this particular occasion.
You always think you're the best for last. Come on now.
Now.
We all think we're the best for the last.
See, the reason I wanted to bring this one on is because I was talking to CJ last time he was on, and he said he never heard Scum before. So I was like, well, shit. If CJ is a hardcore fan and he hasn't heard the head of Lyrical Snuff fucking Productions before, who has been in this game for 20 plus years, and if anybody saw the advertisement for tonight, there's literally a picture of me standing next to him in the advertisement because I've met the man at a concert and smoked many cigarettes with him and did some Jaeger bombs with him, some good times, before watching him go on stage and hump a bag of cloth that looked like it was supposed to be a dead body. But I love him. He's one of my favorite lyricists of all rap, especially hardcore. And I mean, I brought my favorite album by him on. Speaking of Q, the episode Q was on, and neither Q or Chancey was sick, so he said he didn't listen to it because he was sick. But Q just was like he thought it was Chancey's album, which is the funny part. But
So did you try ripping it apart?
no, as soon as I said that it was my album, him and Jess were both like, "That was your album." We thought it was Chancey's.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, so I had to bring my second favorite Scum album, which is Scum's The Gorefather. It's the album that got me into Scum, really. I mean, he is such a talented rapper, and when his flows, he changes his freaking flow every song he does, but his flows can be amazing. If you get him in the right fucking beat, his flow is just nonstop amazing. I mean, he goes back and forth. I'm not gonna say I love everything this man's ever done. No, there's a lot of songs of his I'll skip over gladly in the car if they come up, but some of his songs are just so fucking amazing and so relatable that it's just and he's the coolest guy in the fucking world. Like he'll just fucking stay outside a concert hall for an hour and talk to you about random shit. So
Okay, the fact that he's from Toledo absolutely bears that false because I've yet to meet somebody from Toledo that was complete.
He's from Russia technically, but he
lives in Toledo, so
he lives in Toledo, but he's from Russia originally. And that's why some of the songs he does are in Russian. But yeah, I mean, I had to bring Scum so CJ could check him out and
improvement.
But I mean, I like Scum. I think he's a really good lyricist and a really great rapper. And his beats he does for his whole. Maybe I should have brought "Make My Motherfucking Day," the duo he does with Insane Poetry. Maybe I should have brought one of their albums. But he is really fucking talented. So I thought CJ at least appreciated his rap skills, at least to some degree. But what did you think of him, CJ?
I listened to this record, and aside from his features, because I'm a huge fan of Prozac, I'm a huge fan of Insane Poetry and whatnot. There was nothing about this record that I would ever listen to again. It was next to unlistenable to me, bro. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice here, but
You're breaking my heart, man.
It's quite possibly the worst horrorcore record I've ever heard. It's 10 times worse than the last one you had. Like I would listen to the other one before this one. I don't
give Killer C more love than Scum. That will get you shot at some shows.
Like like I said, aside from the features, which I know are very expensive features because Prozac.
Not really. He's been in this so long that he watched most of these people come up. So he freaking he was opening for them, or they were opening for him back and forth for years.
But those guys don't come cheap. Like I know a lot of these guys. Being from Michigan, and I've hung out with Mastermind, I've hung out with Prozac, I've hung out with Dark Half.
Dark Half is on Scum's label. They were on Scum's label.
Oh, okay. Well,
Scum's the head of LSP.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know anything about the label or him. I just know, like, I know Prozac is from Saginaw, and Prozac used to be on Tech's label.
Yeah.
So Prozac is really awesome. Mastermind obviously is part of Nodis and part of Isham and them guys. Who's the other one that's on here that not a fan of Small's one. She's really annoying. She kind of reminds me of Raza Hill.
Well, she's the female of the LSP roster.
Okay.
I really enjoyed a lot of
the
features.
Poetry.
To be honest, this one had some good features.
Yeah, like the features saved this record for me, basically. Like just
Cardinal Blunt. I like that name.
like there was really nothing about this record that I liked, and I did listen to it just out of fairness to try to give it a chance. But when I looked him up and it said he was from Toledo, I was like, it makes sense. It just sounds like something that would come from Toledo. Like I always make, there's a running joke. Oh, people that are from Michigan, at some point, Toledo was part of Michigan, and we traded Toledo for the Upper Peninsula. And I always make the joke, greatest trade in the history of the world. We gave away Toledo to get the Upper Peninsula. So maybe it's because the XG bitch lives in Toledo now. But I had this thing about Toledo and Toledo people that Toledo should be turned into a parking lot. So, but
I mean, well, I'll tell you this much, man. I mean, the the show I saw him at, he was the headliner, and Axe Murder Boys and Lex the Hex were opening for him.
Okay, well, Axe Murder Boys are terrible. Lex is pretty good.
Axe Murder Boys are freaking incredible with their old shit, dude. I love A&B.
Okay. Well,
I mean, they're a juggalo fave, but
I'm aware, but there's a reason they've been on both Psychopathic and Magic Ninja. And
well, that's because Young Wicked slept with Jumpstay's daughter and got her pregnant.
Okay, don't know anything about that, but again,
yeah, that's why they left Psychopathic, because Jumpstay let Young Wicked crash at his place, and he ended up fucking and impregnating his daughter. So
I didn't know Jumpsteady had a daughter that was even old enough.
Oh, Samantha? Yeah,
I don't run in those circles per se, so I don't know a shit ton about horrorcore other than
I always thought you were an old school juggalo back in the day, like in the 90s.
I am, but that's the thing. Like, I know ICP and ICP related things. I was into Esham long before I was ever in ICP or anything else.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So, sort of most everything with me sort of starts and ends with Esham and branches off from there with Esham, ICP, and then, M come along in the beginning and was trying to be them, but they wouldn't accept him. So he kind of just, because Infinite was this record that half of it was trying to be Nas and half of it was trying to be ICP. And that's what made Infinite so bad, is it was this record of, he couldn't make his mind up. Did he want to be Esham or did he want to be Nas?
Yep.
So he kept going back and forth in the style. And it was like, okay, pick a style, dude. You can't do conscious rap and horrorcore at the same fucking time. Like, it doesn't work, Like, you have the ability to do either, but you got to pick one and commit to it.
Right.
And
but I mean,
I've been friends with King Gordy and Fat Father for a really long time. I don't like Bizarre. And there's just nothing about Bizarre that he's kind of an asshole in real life.
Oh, he is. Yeah, everybody knows that.
Was friends with Proof before Proof died. I've known Mastermind for a while. Knew TNT before TNT died. So I know the older dudes, but the younger dudes never really got into them as much. Now, I do have friends that are horrorcore rappers, Michigan Misfits and a few others. Menacide, I've been friends with Menacide for a minute. Like Menacide. But, it's kind of one of them things where I know some, I don't know others. I know Prozac because I met him. I actually met him when he opened a Esham show.
Yeah.
So your ranking of the album was what?
I'd probably give it about a 3 out of 10. The features are good. The beats aren't terrible. It's just his voice.
Oh, see, that's a preference thing. That's a preference thing. I love his voice.
But it's fine. Like, it's just, I don't like his voice. There's nothing
The
about his
accent, that,
voice
that that Russian accent makes it so much more like badass for me.
I don't know. I don't hear
Yeah.
the Russian accent. I just hear this
Uh,
bad
I'll get to
tiger.
that. I'll get to that in my rankings, but because there's one song that he does completely in Russian on this album, but well, mostly in Russian at least. But uh, did well, Jaimie, what did you think of Scum? I'm dying to hear this.
I gave it 3.5 out of 5. To be honest, I did like it. I think I liked a lot of the features, and if they aren't already the songs I put in my top 5, then I have a lot of honorable mentions. We'll put it that way. So it's not my thing, but it was an enjoyable listen. I do have to say while I was messing around doing stuff. So ain't mad at it.
Mm.
I ain't mad at it at all.
It's. I will tell you, I got into Scum because of Razakel and Satanic CJ. So, I mean,
I
I,
guess I,
because his features on their songs is where I found him, and then I dove into the whole LSP wormhole with all their because Same Poetry is signed to LSP too. He's been an LSP rapper for like the last 15 years.
I like insane poetry. I like
Him and Scum have a group together called MMMFD, Make My Motherfucking Day, and they are fucking amazing together. They did a video with their one song "Pigs." That song's kind of stupid, I think, but I love a lot of the shit they do together.
Right.
It's incredible. I mean,
something about insane poetry kind of reminds me. He's similar in style to King Iso or King Iso, and
yeah,
I
similar,
like
yeah.
that ability to go really fast and not just go really fast, but also make it to where you perfectly understand what he's saying,
Right.
and the lyrics make sense. That's the trick to the chopper style. Is
Right.
You can do it. You can do it terribly well or terribly bad. The ones who try to go so fast, like Gone loses me because he goes so fast that you just lose what he's saying. But then you get ones like ISO and this dude at Same Poetry, who even when they're at their fastest, you understand perfectly what they're saying, and their lyrics are on point. There's a story and a point.
Well, I'll tell you before I go my top here. My cousin went with me to see that Scum concert. It was one of the last concerts we went to, and literally, my cousin thought he was the nicest guy in the world. That he was hanging out in the south side and shit, and like doing Jägermeister with us. And then like when he finally gets on stage, my cousin's standing there next to me, like listening to him start, and he gets to one of his newer songs where he's like, "Cut her from her throat to her pussy hole," and my cousin's just like, "I'll beat the bar."
Yeah,
because like
I just have a thing about Toledo people.
He's I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I always thought he was from Denver. Like I always thought he was from Denver. He was from Denver, but he does a lot of songs about Denver. But I mean, he's been around for 20 plus years at this point. He's been around since the '90s. Him and Satanic and Razakel and all of them started in the same label. They all started in the same label before that label like went defunct, and they just split in like 3 of their own labels. But I enjoy I enjoy his music always. I'm not a fan of everything he does, but this album and Snuff HD are fucking incredible albums in full, in my opinion. But
I saw that he had a bunch of records. I'll probably go back and see if there's something different.
I mean, check out MMMFD. Him and Insane Poetry together, they really vibe well together. They really have like that back and forth. But I did have a few honorable mentions in this one. A few. My number 11 was The Enforcer, because that's a fun ass song. My number 10 is Denver City, because I love his flow in that song.
Excuse me.
My number 9 is The Gorefather, because I mean that's the reason this album drew me in right away. First time to listen to when I got into him is because I love The Godfather, and the fact that he was ripping off that like made it so much cooler, and the fact that he had like the soundtrack music to Godfather kind of in that. My number 8 is My Drugs, because that almost sounds like an ICP song in a way. and it's Potluck's on it. I fucking love Potluck from Suburban Noise Records. I wish Suburban Noise never went under because they had such a great roster in like the late 2000s. But my number 7 is
Prozac have a group together too.
Oh yeah, I know. I am a big fan of Prozac. I'm well aware.
Prozac is
And actually,
really talented.
he's good. He's phenomenal. But my number 7 was I See Dead People because Scum is very big at using samples from horror movies, and I love the way that song opens up with like the kid from The Sixth Sense. And my last honorable mention is Shooting Motherfuckers because the piano and the beat is incredible, the whole song, and Mastermind's verse is, of course, incredible because it's Mastermind. That song I mainly like from Mastermind, but the piano and the beat is just freaking phenomenal.
I wish Mastermind would do more stuff. Like
Me too. I've always said that.
What he does, like, but he's got so much damn talent. Like he really is. He doesn't get enough credit for what he does. Like even on the Nodis records, people talk about Isham, but some of the best verses, ever danced with the devil in the dark pale moonlight. On that record, Mastermind is what really sets that song off.
Yep.
So he deserves
way
more credit than he gets.
I keep saying I'm gonna bring a freaking Nas album and one that shows you come on.
Life After Death, dude.
I know, Life After Death, but every time
I'm not being funny, dude. But if I bring the Webby record, you have to bring that Nodis Life After Death because
it's a deal. We're booked out to April, but we can make that happen. And my number 5 was Ink Blots because that's the song where Scum raps in Russian for at least part of it. And when he raps in Russian, his flow is phenomenal. I have no idea what the fuck he's saying, and I don't care because his flow is so phenomenal that I'll listen to it. And my number 4 is All Fucked Up because the beat is, and that's one of the best beats on this album is All Fucked Up. And
I'm laughing because I totally get that because like I love Maximum the Hormone. Yep. No fucking idea what they're actually saying because they're singing in Japanese, but their shit is so all over the fucking place that I don't even care that I don't understand it because it's so chaotic that it just sounds cool,
Yep. And my top 3 in this are the ones that really got me into this album and into Scum. And my number 3 is one of the first music videos I ever saw of his, which was Off the Hinges, which has Dark Half and Lords of the Lost, I think they're called. I forget their name. They didn't really do anything besides this song ever. I kept looking for them, like for them to put out an album or something, but they never did shit. Which I really liked them. I thought they had good verses in it, but Off the Hinges is a fun song. It's just like that piano on the beat again, and in the video they're all rapping in a cemetery because they're like LSP is very low budget, just like all those small horrorcore labels. So
unoriginal,
but yeah. It's budgets, dude. But my number 2 is Life Sick because actually no, she's not in this one, but Life Sick's an amazing song. It really is. Like I fucking love that song. I think Scum does an amazing job throughout that whole song. And my number 1 is the song that really got me into him and LSP in general, which is on my way to my casket. Because I love Smalls One's voice. If my favorite album by her, The Black Widow, was on Spotify, I would have brought it on here a long time ago. She is such an amazing rapper, and she's the skinniest thing you ever see. And if I didn't actually talk to Scum about her, I would think she was like a meth head or something. But she is like, it's funny. She has like a full on family and shit, and then she just comes on and raps about like cutting guys' testicles off and shit in her own albums. So she's incredible. I love Smalls One. I think she's better than Razakel in a lot of ways. But
that's setting a really low bar, dude. Like,
dude,
I'm like saying it's Chevy Chevette's better than a Yugo.
Dude, in the late 2000s, I worship Razakel. But female rappers in the horrorcore scene are few and far between, so you gotta pick and choose.
That is true, but
yeah. Smalls One, Razakel, and Lissa C are like the only 3 I ever really knew. they actually put out stuff. But actually, Razakel and all three of them did a group together. What the hell is it called? Oh my god! Why do I know this? But I'll look it up in a minute. But they did a group together. A group together that was freaking incredible. But did you happen to get a top 5 CJ off of Scum or?
The song with Mastermind and the song with Prozac are the main two that were the most listenable to me. The one with Potluck and Flatline is, I don't know who Flatline is. Flatline is pretty decent. Like it sounds like he has a Isham influence, of course, just not just from the name, but also from his style. He kind of sounds like somebody that was influenced by Isham. So
Flatline. I know that he's been on other shit I listened to too. I just can't think of who the hell he is.
I've never seen him before, Dom. But the song with Insane Poetry is pretty decent. I do like Insane Poetry, so that's why I said I'll go back and listen to more stuff because I noticed he is on a lot of songs on some of his other stuff.
They're best friends. They do everything together.
That may temper my thoughts more. But yeah, just probably be the only time I would listen to this record per se.
I mean, like I said, Snuff HD is a better album in my opinion, but this album was the one that got me into him, so I am down for it. And I've heard great things about his Grim Zipper trilogy. It's like his own horror monster he created, but I haven't really had a chance to fully check it out. But Jaimie, did you have a top 5 or no?
I did, and the only thing is that it's been like a week and a half or so since I've listened to it. But
yeah.
So I didn't have notes on it, which I normally have notes, so sucks. But I do have number 5 is All Fucked Up. And number 4, Off the Hinges. I love the start of it. The Gorefather is my number 3. I really like how that kicked off the album. And then number 2, Love Gone Bad. And then number 1, how do you say that one? Enforca, whatever. There you go. That's it. That's my number 1. My honorable mention, I guess, was like Unplugged and Cuckoo. Some of the features that had gone on there, but Unplugged was really my main one. Outside of that I was almost debating on somewhere in there. But I have hardly any notes here, so I'm like, damn it. Next time I'll write better notes.
The Cuckoo is a really fun song. I actually really like that song, but
yeah, it was just kind of fun. I wasn't going to be sure about the album, but I was pleasantly surprised by it. So
Q was searching up. He's like, they're talking about people killing each other, and I'm like,
huh?
This is hardcore. Welcome to adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
But and that album I was talking about that Razakel does with his Sierra and Smalls one is called The Bitch Chronicles. It's really well done. It's very anti-masculine, but it's very well done. I mean, if you want to hear them talk, if you want to hear females sing rap about castrating men, then I was all for it. Their voices, I love all their voices. That's works for me.
I'm good. If I want to see men get castrated, I'll just watch I Spit on Your Grave.
Yeah, But folks, we went through all 3 albums. Some loved, some hated, or some both. But come back next week and see what our guest wants to bring on. Even I don't know yet because I haven't looked at the message. Well, actually, I'm sitting right the fuck here. Why? Oh, I'm on the wrong account. So, CJ, where can they find you while I switch accounts on that site?
I am all over the place. Just type in Music God CJ Plain. YouTube, you can find me on Music God Reacts. My Instagram is under Christopher Plain now because some crypto jackoff hijacked my shit and got it deleted. So I have a new Instagram. But Facebook, TikTok, pretty much every place else, I'm just Music God CJ Plain. So, keep it simple, stupid.
All right. Well, Apparently, our guest wants to bring next. Apparently, we might be doing a soundtrack episode next week, folks. Our guest wants to bring the Godfather soundtrack
What?
by Nino Rota. So
That's not a bad.
Okay.
It's different but respectable. That's a really good.
Godfather soundtrack, eh?
I'll confirm and I'll work on that because I don't know what the hell I'd bring for a soundtrack. Actually, me and Chancey did a soundtrack album a while back. It was fun. I believe the man with what the hell is it called? The man with the Iron Fist, Chainsaw Bop, Strike Back, and I forget what Chancey brought, but it was a decent show. He did a good job.
That's amazing.
I don't know. I have a maybe I have an idea or two. Okay, I might have some fun ideas for that one, but
I'm gonna say if you need ideas, let me know because I literally got a folder with like 500 movie soundtracks in it. I collect.
I don't know. I might have to pull the old favorite of Hustle and Flow. Smack that bitch up. But fucking, I love that movie. 3-6 Mafia, baby. But
it's got my boy Haystack. The scene where he goes where he goes into the strip club, the big white dude that he's talking that's the DJ. That's Haystack.
Oh, trust me, I saw Joey Roll live back in like 2012, 13 with back when him and Lil White did No Sick Days. Yeah. I fucking love. I fucking love.
He has been sober for 600 days now. He's got a new record.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything he's done in a long time.
This is the first record he's done since he got sober.
Oh, okay. I was saying, I haven't heard anything he's done in a long time.
Of soberness now. He said it's my first record being completely sober, completely off drugs, and I'm like,
I mean, we'll see. That's what killed. That's what killed them.
I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, you better come hard, bro.
That's what killed Eminem for me. But we'll see. I mean, I love Lil White back in like when I was listening to him back then, and it's funny. It's funny because I got mistaken for Jelly Roll at the concert. I was walking out smoking a cigarette with my boy, and a security guard walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, that was a nice set you just did." I'm like, "Thanks." I'm not gonna correct you, but it's no. Jaimie, you saw me before I lost weight after the surgery. I was a big motherfucker.
I don't see the similarity, but it's okay. It's okay.
I used to always have a shaved beard and head back then, so it was. I looked a lot more like him back then in his rap days.
Nah.
I think Jelly has put on a ton of weight in the past 3 years that he's
okay.
So Jelly at one point, Jelly for the majority of the time, from like 2004 up to around 2010-ish, Jelly was only like 290, 300 pounds.
Yeah, he got huge in the last like 5-6 years.
Like 450 pounds.
I mean, I looked like him at one point. I literally looked like him at one point, but before his face was all tatted up and shit too back then. But
yeah, and the face tats are relatively new too. So
yeah, he literally looked like me back in the day. But that was a good show. I got to fucking.
I actually had long hair and braids that for
at that show. At that show, CJ, they were giving out the Bam Bam Bigelow single on CD.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was Jelly Roll opened, Jelly Roll No White opened, then Aquilio, and then it was Twisted.
That's a thing.
Are we done with memory lane here so we can get on to my stuff? Good Lord, guys.
Jaimie, where can they find you if they want to get right to the point?
Well, at this point, you guys are over here just jabbering away like a couple little schoolgirls. Anyways, you can find me on the Book of Faces. That's where you can catch my Snapchat, my Instagram. I'm not on TikTok anymore, but Twitter. I'm either Slipknot Chica or Slipknot Chica 17. You also can catch me on some of the episodes of Bracket Bastards. We're usually on Sundays. So otherwise, I'm here every week that we're on.
Yeah, find her on Facebook.
And of course, folks, you can find both your musers on Facebook under Squatchy Largefoot, where we live stream because, this random Sasquatch wanted to be my mascot. I said, sure, why not? You can find us on XX Baby in the Gram, is that Juggalo Bastard. You can find us on Talk, if you can get on it still, as at Jungle Master Podcast. And you can find us on YouTube as Maniacal Music Musings. Come back next week and see us as we apparently are doing a soundtrack episode. And come this Saturday for our Valentine's Day special bracket, the top 25 metal wedding songs according to Ranker. So come check it out, and we'll see you next week. And of course, thank you, Music God, for coming on once again, as always.
Hey, thanks as always.
just like a good marriage, the Music God comes around every 3 or 4 months. So
yeah. So, hey, my birthday